birds of a feather, they flock together. You know, it's just, you know, you can't have a kid that's going to Sunday school hanging with a drug dealer. It's just not gonna work. Either one is gonna pull one this way or you're gonna go this way. So I try to have them be mindful, I would say, but I don't try to push too much just yet because you don't wanna lose them, you know? And if that is ever the case for me, I would just try to grab them all and pull them in, you know, and say, hey, look, you got a decision to make. You can do this, this, or this, or you can do this, this, and this. You know, and I think that's holding them accountable, but also giving them the freedom to choose what's best for them.
It's the all-new Valley Gold with Debórah. This is the show that brings you the stars, the stories, and the performances. You'll see familiar faces, and you'll get to learn more about how they do what they do. Today, Debórah chops it up with basketball coach and youth mentor, Chivas Whipple. So stay tuned. Debórah has great features for you on the all-new Valley Gold with Debórah. Stay tuned for our Legends Music Moment. Special delivery. That's what each newborn baby is in the hands of your team in the village. Dr. Rodney Hill and his professional staff of nurse practitioners, conveniently located on 5th Avenue in Youngstown, open weekdays and Saturdays. Call today. Whether it's Motown, Philly Soul, Stax, Solar, Savoy, you name it, people from every nation love old school rhythm and blues music. Now I hope you enjoy.
If you see me walking down the street and I start to cry each time we meet, walk on by, walk on by. Foolish pride, that's all that I have left. So let me hide the tears and the sadness you gave me. Let me say goodbye.
Up next, it's all about the love on Valley Gold with Debórah. Trust, dignity, and peace of mind. These are the qualities you look for when planning the memorial service of a loved one. L.E. Black Phillips and Holden Funeral Home is the name families have come to rely on for pre-need planning, grief support, financial guidance, and compassion during life's most difficult time. Located at 1951 McGuffey Road in Youngstown, in the time of need, it's L.E. Black Phillips and Holden Funeral Home, still caring for the memories most cherished by you. Welcome back to the show. We live in a day and time where many people just can't seem to figure out how to build the kind of relationship that will last a lifetime. Well, my next guest is all about the love. His name is Jason Hairston. Welcome to the show, Jason.
It's a pleasure to be here, Debórah. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you. Now, in this segment, we're going to talk about the newlywed delusion, okay? So when you first get in a relationship, the chemistry is strong, and there's a strong magnetism, and there's, I can't wait to see you again and talk to you, I love you, I just wanna be around you every day, all day, right? You are holding on to a delusion. I wish it was like how it was when we first met. It will never be. But guess what? It gets deeper, wider, and more expansive. Now we gotta get real. Are we compatible? Do you have my back? You know, are you really my friend? So if you're chasing the dopamine rush of the newlywed energy, you're gonna crash and burn, and you might leave that relationship and look for it again and keep going. You're gonna keep going from relationship to relationship trying to get that initial rush. So just know it's going to be a phase and it's going to come down. When it comes down, love built on top of friendship is where it needs to be. And this is where love can last and expand.
Y'all need to help her. Somebody help Debórah. Help Debórah. Somebody help her.
Every engine lover knows that sweet sound of an engine that is ready to race. This car was made ready at the Predator Zone. The Predator Zone is Northeast Ohio's only test and tune track. 330 feet of track with reaction time. Our track will pull your teeth out. Located on Youngstown's east side, grand opening in April. Before you put that car in the race, make an appointment at the Predator Zone.
It's the all-new Valley Gold with Debórah. Now when you watch, let's not be selfish about it by keeping it all to yourself. Show me and your friends some love by sharing the links and leaving comments. Tell me what you think. I absolutely love reading remarks from our viewers. Now, stay tuned, because we're going to keep this party going. Disruption is what creates billionaires. So I am going to be the next disruptor to create a most delicious fruit pie that contains no flour, no sugar, no butter, but only healthy ingredients. But until then, here's my version of a lemon meringue pie. You see this wonderful dish? This is my lemon meringue pie. I'll bet you've never seen a lemon meringue pie quite like this. I want you to notice as I angle the camera, where you normally would expect to see a high meringue with peaks like mountain peaks, not so on Debórah's lemon meringue pie. Why, mine is more like a cracker. And if you notice something about the inside of the filling, you might want to try to guess about my filling. But I'm not going to help you. It's a surprise, and it's a delightful surprise. Keep watching out for me, because lots of wonderful surprises in store with Debórah. Up next, it's Keeping It Fresh on Valley Gold with Debórah.
Do you have challenges posing your dancers? Well, we have a solution for you. Point Now Flex Posing Cards.
We assure you this deck of cards will enhance your next photo shoot
with visuals on the front and descriptions on the back. Varying categories to help your photo shoot from the beginning to the end.
So honey, go ahead and visit our site and grab your deck of Point Now Flex Posing Cards.
Keeping it fresh for us today is a gorgeous, melanin-rich beauty named Ashley All Smiles. Ashley is the quintessential beauty stylist, so from head to shoulders, she's gonna show us how to keep it fresh.
Hello, Debórah. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for sharing me with your viewers today. I am Ashley All Smiles, and I want to talk about no makeup. Yeah, I said it. No makeup. I'm talking about makeup so blended that it just looks like your natural face. So I'm going to show you how I keep it fresh with my no makeup.
Stay tuned as Debórah chops it up with coach and mentor Chivas Whipple.
The outage started just after 3:30 this afternoon, spreading across the Northeast.
Our choices define us, makes us who we are, who you choose to become.
We can't stay here, okay? We need to leave right now. Are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, absolutely.
Special delivery. That's what each newborn baby is in the hands of your team in the village. Dr. Rodney Hill and his professional staff of nurse practitioners, conveniently located on 5th Avenue in Youngstown, open weekdays and Saturdays. Excellent prenatal care is what helps ensure a healthy baby. So for the best women's health, reproductive and prenatal care, you'll want to be in the hands of Dr. Rodney Hill, Mama Carol, and Nurse Sin. They're your team in the village where every delivery is special. My guest today is a record-setting, award-winning athlete, a Marine, husband and father of 4, and professional basketball coach with a respectable career and bright future. But he's so much more than a coach, and today we're going to explore why. Hello and welcome to the show, Chivas.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you so much for being my guest. So I want to get right into it. As I mentioned in the introduction, we know that you're a basketball coach. You've coached basketball for how many years?
Officially, this is probably right around year 20. I coached high school for about 5, and then I went collegiately for quite a few volunteer years, so about right around 20.
So starting off as an athlete yourself, was your big dream to go to the pros?
Yes, it was, but if you coach basketball or any sport, you know, you got to be willing to understand that there will be ups and downs, there'll be sacrifices, and you always need a plan B. So, you know, education, you know, was always really the goal, but, you know, every kid's dream is to be a professional athlete at that point. So, you know, I just kept moving on and chugging along, and one day when it came to an end, the ball stopped bouncing, you know, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, you know, basketball has taken me as far as, you know, I can go, and, you know, starting to look another direction.
Besides your obvious talent, like we mentioned, you've broken records. Besides your obvious talent and love for the sport, what actually drew you to becoming a coach?
Sports give kids like myself and the opportunity to fulfill dreams, to stay out of trouble. And growing up, you know, basketball had given me everything up until that point, kept me out of trouble. I loved playing basketball, and the only thing about basketball that I didn't appreciate or didn't love was the fact that I was in a single home. You know, my mom worked really hard to keep me and my sister, you know, looking good and taken care of, and what I didn't like is when I look in that crowd, very rarely was she there. You know, she made the games that she could. So I always told myself if I was ever a coach or a teacher or anything like that, I would always want to make sure that every kid, you know, knew they had somebody to turn to, like quite a few people did for me. I had a gentleman, Mervyn Wagner, a woman, Wanda Grant, who actually taught me how to play basketball.
A woman taught you how to play basketball?
Yes, Wanda Grant. She played at Youngstown State. I still talk to her. I actually have one of her kids in school now. But Wanda taught me, you know, everything about basketball. And from there, I mean, it just grew. My father was a professional boxer, so he wanted me to box, and my mom was like, no way, you know. So I used to go to the Buckeye Elks, you know, on the north side of Youngstown, and at that time the Buckeye Elks was like a community center, and it had everything in there from a band, its own football team, Little League football team, a flag line. I mean, it had everything, boxing, basketball, and every day after I did my homework, my father would take me to the Elks. I would go down in the gym and I'd box. And then I never forget the day, I probably was 6 or 7 years old, and the basketball bounced all the way from the top floor all the way down to the gym, and I picked it up. And ever since that moment, I fallen in love with basketball.
Wow.
Yeah, and I actually wrote a paper about it when I was in school. So I do remember that day very vividly.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to get more into the life of Chivas Whipple on Valley Gold with Debórah right back after this. Trust, dignity, and peace of mind. These are the qualities you look for when planning the memorial service of a loved one. L.E. Black Phillips and Holden Funeral Home is the name families have come to rely on for pre-need planning, grief support, financial guidance, and compassion during life's most difficult time. Located at 1951 McGuffey Road in Youngstown, in the time of need, it's L.E. Black Phillips and Holden Funeral Home, still caring for the memories most cherished by you.
Every engine lover knows that sweet sound of an engine that is ready to race. This car was made ready at the Predator Zone. The Predator Zone is Northeast Ohio's only test and tune track. 330 feet of track with reaction time. Our track will pull your teeth out. Located on Youngstown's east side, grand opening in April. Before you put that car in the race, make an appointment at the Predator Zone.
And we're back on Valley Gold with Debórah and my wonderful guest, Chivas Whipple.
Thank you again.
So, were you hard on yourself growing up?
Oh, I'm still hard on myself.
For example?
I hold myself to nothing is good enough.
Like?
Okay, so let's just, since we're talking coaching, let's talk basketball.
Okay.
So I played at Point Park University where I was a 3-time All-American. Wasn't good enough. When in a game, I could have had 25, 30 points. All I could focus on was the shot that I missed, or the free throw that I missed, or the turnovers that I had. I could never be in the moment of, dude, you had 30. You had 30 points. You had 20 rebounds. Like, it was never good enough. Never good enough.
So do you think that's a good way to be?
I've learned in my adulthood it's terrible.
Because you just said you
terrible.
could never be in the moment to just enjoy the moment.
Listen, as I got older, it's a terrible way to be. You know, but sports is a results-driven thing. So I always wanted the best results.
Okay, so when you would go into a game, did you have a number in mind of how many free throws or how
No,
many
so
shots? Or?
that's funny that you say that, because I tell certain kids, you know, when I played, if I had 10 points, I always wanted half. If I had 10 points, I wanted half of the points in rebounds. So I needed 5 rebounds if I had 10 points.
So you cared whether they were rebounds or?
Well, what I mean by that is, if I had 10 points, I needed at least 5 rebounds. And if I had 5 rebounds, I needed at least 2 to 3 steals or 2 to 3 assists. That's how I pushed myself.
What, to show your
it was my own.
Or?
Well, no, it was just I didn't care about what anybody said, if I was the best or I didn't play well. I could care less about that. It was me. I only cared about what I thought about myself.
Now that's a good thing.
Yeah, I didn't never care. And I never cared about that. But I just challenged myself every chance that I got. And even when I did great, I just could only focus on the free throw that I missed. I could only focus, and I would lose sleep.
So were you hard to be around in terms of after the game when everybody's having fun?
No. Only time I was really ever like that is if I felt like I didn't leave it all out there, which was never. You know, I always thought every time I stepped on the floor, I was gonna bring it. You know, and I'm trying to instill that in the guys at East, because a lot of us as young men, we are afraid to fail. You know.
Why?
I think the disappointment, you know, of somebody saying, oh, you didn't do so well, but, you know, failure isn't always a bad thing. You know, I have conversations all the time with my family, you know. Failure is where you grow. You know, everything that's of value is in dirt. You know, diamonds, oil, food. You got to get it out the mud. Nothing in life is easy. And if you don't understand that, you will always live life in fear. You'll be afraid to invest in this stock. You'll be afraid to, you know, give your all on the basketball, football. You'll be afraid to give everything in the books because you're afraid of failing. Well, without failure, you never learn. You never move forward, you know, and people need to embrace that. It's uncomfortable to be a failure, you know, and until you realize that, and then you fail, and then you got to look back at where you failed and learn from it, then you start to grow. It's that growth mindset, you know, you have to do it. Nobody in life has ever went through life without failing, not one person.
Right.
So I tell kids all the time, I mean, you ever seen Kobe Bryant miss a shot? You ever seen Michael Jordan, LeBron miss a shot? Yeah, so you're not gonna make every shot. That's the nature of the beast. So if you're not gonna take that shot, I'm, as your coach, gonna sit you down. You know, we got a rule You know, in the gym, we got a play called 2 down. You sit both butt cheeks down on the bench. You know, you have to be confident. You have to be confident in yourself, because if you put in the work at anything, you will reap the benefits.
With that in mind, could you just maybe give some coaching advice to our viewers for whatever they do in terms of just the whole idea of being in the moment?
Well, I learned, and I'm forever in debt to a few coaches, Kevin Soroki at Westminster and Pat Cleary at Edinburgh. But in that instant of being in the moment, everybody's always goal driven. Everybody wants a nice house. Everybody wants a nice car. But the things that really matter aren't materialistic. You know, they're the moments that your kids start walking. They're the moment that your daughter go to prom. They're the moment that your kids start driving.
And really, they're the memories that you collect, because that's all that's really left.
That's all that's left. So when all of this is withered away, all you have is those precious moments.
And whether you were there present,
whether you were there or not, you're not gonna remember. You're gonna be like, oh, I remember how we stayed on that road. You can move to another house, you know.
Right.
But you'll never forget the moment your kid made her first basket or her first dance recital.
Or
You'll
just
never forget.
just moments of laughter.
Yeah. Remember that time we did, like, those are the most precious things in life. And I think when more people start to let go, you know, of the materialistic things and be more in that moment, you know, put the phone down, talk to me. Because one day you might not be able to talk. You know,
so
one day
take the moment that you have and make the most of it.
Take it, because I tell you, you know, I wouldn't trade the moments that I have with my children, especially, and my mom and my sister. I mean, ups and downs and richer or poorer, man. Like, it's a marriage. Those things are real.
Yeah.
And you know, I try to look back at some of the things that I've accomplished in my life, and I still can't believe it was me, because I wasn't in those moments. You know? Like, when you read that stuff, if you Google and you read, he did this and he was a Marine, and I'm like, who is she talking about? But that's me.
You just, your mind was on the next moment.
Yes, I never was there. I never was present, you know, because I was like, okay, I got my bachelor's. Oh, I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna get my master's, and I'm gonna be principal, and I want to do, you know, and you never enjoying just going home and sitting talking to your kid saying, how was school?
Excellent.
Yeah.
We're going to take another quick commercial break, and when we come back, more good insight from Chivas Whipple.
Yeah.
Valley Gold with Debórah after this.
Do you have challenges posing your dancers? Well, we have a solution for you. Point Now Flex Posing Cards.
We assure you, this deck of cards will enhance your next photo shoot
with visuals on the front and descriptions on the back. Varying categories to help your photo shoot from the beginning to the end.
So honey, go ahead and visit our site and grab your deck of Point Now Flex Posing Cards.
The outage started just after 3:30 this afternoon, spreading across the Northeast.
Our choices define us, makes us who we are. Who will you choose to become?
We can't stay here, okay? We need to leave right now. Are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to be wrapping it up, but I've got just a couple more questions for you. So can you share with us what parents should know, whether they're submitting their child under the guidance or influence of, it could be a therapist, a coach, a teacher, a mentor, anybody in a leadership or leadership capacity that their child is going to be looking up to?
I am a firm believer that it takes a village to raise a child. So you're not always going to be that first line of defense for your child, right? So if your child trusts a coach or a therapist, get to know that therapist or that coach, you know, because you want them, you know, steering your child in the right direction.
So, got one more question for you, Chivas.
Yeah.
What, in your mind, how would you define a hero?
You know, for me, I think a hero is anybody, any age, that inspires you to do better for yourself. You know, some people's hero can be their child, you know. Some people have a child and do a full turnaround. I need to provide for my child. Could be a father, a mother. I mean, a hero, I think, is just somebody that impacts you so much that you want to do better for yourself in your life, you know. And you can have more than one, you know, because life is a process. You know, you get to 1.8, you know, from 0 birth to 5, you're a different kid. From 5 to 8, you're a different kid. 8 to 12, you're a different kid. So you can have multiple people help you, you know, through that process or that particular stage in your life, you know. So, again, I think a hero is just somebody, again, that's, notice I didn't say financially.
Right, you didn't.
Somebody that motivates you to do better for yourself. Somebody that you can look at. Say, you know, I want to be like this person. So you model yourself after that person. And a lot of times that could be positive or negative, but if it's somebody that wants you to do, you know, better, you want to do better for yourself because of that person, I think you could call them a hero.
Well, the reason I asked that question was because from the things that I read about you and even from the way that you shared with me today, I'm sure many young people look up to you as their hero.
I hope.
So it's been a pleasure having you as my
Thank you.
guest on
Thank
the
you.
show. And would you let our viewers know how they can get in touch with you if they'd like to reach you?
Oh, sure. Well, I can't get my number out on here, but you can.
But like if your social media.
Yeah, you
or
can
something like
social media me. I don't know. I got Facebook. I'm not a big social media person. Honestly, I was surprised that you that you got a hold of me on social media. But yeah, you can hit me on my inbox or you can email me at whipplcr@gmail.com.
So it's been my pleasure to have you as a guest.
Thank you.
And thank you for being such a wonderful hero to so many in our community in particular.
I appreciate it.
Until next time, that's it for now. Bye-bye.